Hello and welcome to Walk With Me, the podcast. I am your host, Bédard, and today I'll invite you to embark on the journey that is as simple as it is profound, the act of walking together. Now, the name Walk With Me is intentional, me is my initials, Marie, but it also stands for me as in each one of us. So this podcast is a place where I want us to explore life, death, everything in between and beyond. Over the years, I've witnessed that growth and evolution can be daunting for a lot of people, but when we get out of our heads and walk the path together, something truly magical happens. We collapse time, we tap into our inner wisdom, and unlock amazing potentialities. So this journey is not just about walking. It's more than just putting one foot in front of the other. It's about exploration. It's about the deep connections we form with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us as we move through life. So together, we'll dive into the discoveries of science, the teachings of the heart, and the revelations of the soul. From the frequency of the Black Forest and journey where I live, I'll be added some sacred feminine wisdom and collective consciousness. We'll explore how everything shapes our lives and our path. So lace up your shoes and let's walk together on this path of growth and evolution. Hello and welcome back. I am Marie, I am your host, and today I wanted to take a few minutes first to talk about the fact that in a few hours I'm going back to school and I will be starting a new training, becoming a death midwife. And this has been such an incredible journey to hear to today, but also to taking the decision and actually embracing that part of me that I didn't necessarily, first see coming. And when I did, it was so scary for me. It was so scary to actually think about holding spaces and accompanying people at the end of their lives. The reason why I say this is because when I was a child, I was incredibly fascinated by life, cycle of life, circle of life, like the beginning and the end. And very, very, very soon when I was a child, I started to tell my mom that when I die, I didn't want to live forever. I was 5 years old. I was waking up in the middle of the night and I was going to tell my Mom, I actually don't want to live forever afterwards. And even if she was telling me that, after there would be no pain, I will be with everybody that I ever love and we would all be rejoicing in heaven, it was not appealing to me at all. And it caused a lot of anxiety, pretty much all my life and pretty much all through the, adulthood. And even if when I was actually exposed to an end-of-life situation, there was a part of me that was showing up incredibly for these times. I don't even know how I was showing up. But at the same time, there was a part of me that was really, really scared. And as I was untangling this in the last few years, I remember one of my first business coaches, one of the first containers that we were together, I actually told her where I was going at, and she said, "Oh, I see this for you." And I said, "Yes, this is where I'm going, but we're not talking about this because I'm not there yet." Because I knew that I had to clean up so much of my shit in order to be there for others, and also in order to find the balance between taking care of myself, asking for support, and also taking care of others and supporting them in their journey. So when I started to move in this direction, I was really aware of what was the goal of this. But I didn't know how it was going to unfold. And I realized through all this journey, and if you haven't listened to that podcast episode about up-leveling frequency, I have never realized that there was the divine and the human that was actually operating on different levels. So the human experience, the human was really scared about what was going on, was really scared about the fact that, we don't have any answers, we don't have any control. This is so vast. Just thinking about this made me have a big pit in my stomach. But at the same time, every single time I was exposed to situations that were requiring, that were calling, that were inviting me to step into this inner wisdom, it was actually the divine within. It was my soul's contract that I signed before coming into this life that was living up to his purpose. So realizing that and really working through different modalities and really like doing the work and really embracing that and embracing everything that came with that really was liberating, because I could understand what was going on. What was the part of me that, when was the part of me that was human that was coming up, and how could I actually like calm our nervous system, bring more awareness to what was going on, and also bringing the divine within, the higher self that was here for a purpose in that conversation. And when I was studying biology, when I was doing my bachelor's, I was working in a funeral home to pay the bills. And I have been exposed to like death situations since I'm very young. And I've also have been shielded in places that also made me grow in areas that I needed to really ground myself and really learn how to harmonize those two sides of me, those two sides that we have. We all have those two sides. And as I was doing this work, and especially in the past year, where it was really revealing itself, and I was really like letting the divinity within, the soul leading within, I was realizing more and more how much I was ready. And not only how much I was ready, but how much I have done the work to hold those spaces, to welcome everything that it entails, and all the knowledge and all the experience that I've had working in the domain, and my life experience, and being with my mom, accompanying her towards the end of her life, and all the other instances where I was really supporting the families, and I was really supporting people in their grieving process after. Everything had prepared me for this. And I was looking at, because in Germany, the schooling system works very differently. And yes, I can really do my equivalencies for all my certificate, but I didn't want to create a career that was in line with the biology. I was already like off path at that point. And, like line 5 here in human design, I am here to create new ways. I am here to trailblaze. I am a visionary. And for the longest time, I knew I was pulled to a vision, that was pulled to something that was not existing. And yet I didn't know how I was going to get there, because I was so much into my mind, because I was so much into the logical, because I was so much into the scientific. And as I was moving and letting go of that linearity and embracing all the different areas of my being, of what it means to be alive, and all these questions, I was opening more doors and opening more spaciousness for everything to live. And by holding all of that and by playing with different aspects of it, I could really pulsate between the detail and the grand, like the day-to-day living and the biggest. And I think that a lot of instances, we either are too much caught up in the detail. We have a tendency to, to have the nose on the tree, that just only see the bark, that we don't see the forest. And when we start to see the forest and build more equanimity and have a bigger vision, a lot of the time we're losing the connection with the detail. And that was something that I didn't want to, I wasn't prepared to let happen. So cultivating that pulsation between the two, between the human, between the divine, between the day-to-day, really like being in the trenches and being with my clients, like in their day-to-day pain and suffering and whatever was going on, and cultivating surrender to really touch more and more letting go, really touch more and more at whatever was bigger, the purpose, the meaning, like keeping a sense of meaning, but not in a way that was strict, somewhere in between where people could actually find their truth in their relationship with life and death. So a couple of months now 6-7 months ago, I realized that it was time for me to find a training that would be recognized in Germany, that would actually be in German, so I can also expand on my language skills and make connections with people here that would allow me to create connections in the new land that I live now. So I started to look at different continuing education, and I really started to look at death midwifery and to go to a school that was, well established, but also that was in line with my view of how we lead ourselves into the end of life and how I wanted it to be kept non-denominational, but at the same time open to all the different tools and aspects that we can actually tap into, and also to have a lot of leverage and a lot of space to not rely on medication. So I found this school and I went to the evening, like the information evening. And when I got to the information evening, I was realizing that I had made so much of the background check. I had really done my work in choosing, and it was just a matter of clearing up some of the different needs that I would have, meaning that, my German is good, but it's not fluid yet. It's not fluent yet. So I needed to know that I would have ways to support myself in this journey. So it's a 2-year training. I have decided to do the online version because it actually goes into blocks of 4 hours instead of being presence for a day and a half, which would have been more difficult for me to really stay sharp during that period of time. So, chunking it down will allow me to really navigate better and to really absorb better as we go along. And so I had a conversation with the founder. So this school was founded in 2001, and I had a discussion with the founder, and she had this incredible idea of finding me a godmother or somebody that would be with me, that would enrich the group in supporting me and my need, but also like enrich the group in knowing when we are building communities that we're leaning on each other. And in this special, incredible work, being able to receive support, being able to lean on each other, learning how to ask for help, to ask for support is paramount. And I see this all the time when I lead containers, like group containers with women. The women that come to me, they're strong women. They've been doing it like alone for a long time. Just at some point it gets very heavy, and there's really ways to lighten everything by leaning on each other, by finding each other, by asking for help. And often just the fact that we're voicing it halves the weight of anything that we're going through, that we're living through. And it allows others to see us, to hear us, to validate. And we can really be recognized in this journey that we're on, in this incredible opportunity that we have to live and to create this life. And so often we're caught up on the day-to-day in the little details, and it's the fear that comes up. All the fears are coming up, and we're connecting with that, but we're not getting past that. We're not leveraging what it means to walk through the fears, to go on the other side of the fears, to really show up courageously and saying, I know I have these fears, but I can do this. Getting support, getting the help that we need to really go over that, over the hurdle, and really tap into the other side. What happens on the other side of fear is absolutely amazing. And also, it really shows us how strong we are, that we are not only doing the thing, but also we're going on the other side of our fears. We're finding people to be on this journey and to lean on each other and to rise together. Rise together. This is something that we used to do when we were before, and we've lost connection with ourselves. We've lost connection with each other. We've lost connection with the earth. And I think that it's time for us to talk about it, to live it, to really reconnect with each other and with the incredibly amazing opportunities that this life brings us, and how when we're leveraging those fears or those uncertainty and we're doing the work, we're tapping into potentials that is unheard of, because we have the ability to go and do more and be more and give back more and receive more and create more and live more and love more. So I had decided to do this, and I also decided to, it was kind of like at the same time where I was rethinking my whole business structure, to simplify it, to create more ease, more lightness, more fluidity. And if you are in the podcast companion on Telegram, I will share more and more of behind the scene of this journey that I am about to enter in a few hours, and how it evolves and how it actually brings and expands my understanding and what it means to be alive, and what it means to live fully, and what it means to evolve and to grow and to do it together. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. I am sending you so much love, and I will talk to you very soon. Thank you for being part of today's episode and walking with me. As the seasons of life shift, we hold the power to navigate our path with courage, intuition, and wisdom, and embrace change with an open heart, for within it lies the potential for remarkable growth and evolution. If this conversation resonated with you, please subscribe on your favorite platform, leave a heartfelt review, and share it on social media. If you know someone who would benefit from this episode, I'd be honored if you shared it with them. You can stay connected with me on social media, where I continue to share insights and inspiration. And for a deeper connection, you can join my Telegram community for exclusive content and real-time conversation. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until our next encounter, keep exploring, embracing change, and finding joy in every moment. And remember, you can always come back here and walk with me.